Altrina Tillman, and I am with my wonderful king.
King Davis.
And today we're going to share some good stuff with you. On this radio show, we talk about business, we talk about our tribe, and we talk about our travel experiences. So today we're going to talk a lot about our travel experiences, and we're going to tell you about an interesting trip that we went on for my birthday last year.
You want to tell them what number birthday that was, or are we going to keep that to ourselves?
So that was number young birthday. I was young on that birthday. If you see us on our YouTube channel, you might be able to guess my age, but we're not going to tell you right now. We're going to let you guess. And we're going to tell you what our YouTube channel is in a little bit. You want to tell them now? You want to tell them later?
Well, the YouTube channel, officially the name is the Royal Clan.
Okay.
Now, there is another YouTube channel that's just Royal Clan without the.
Without the, okay.
Right. But ours is officially the Royal Clan, just like it sounds.
Okay. And we will be posting all of our videos in synchrony with our radio shows on our YouTube channel. So if you want to get the visual of us in the studio acting silly, make sure that you go to our YouTube channel and you will get our radio show as well as other, what do you call it when you have other videos that, what's the word?
Come on. Find it.
No,
find it.
What you call it? What's the word? So you have other videos that not compliment.
That's a word.
That video.
Compliment is a word.
So you'll have other videos on our YouTube channel that's going to tell you even more about what we're talking about.
Give you more in-depth insights into our family life
part.
and business life and our children and our travels and all of that good stuff.
So I want to tell you, first of all, that this man that's sitting beside me is phenomenal.
Wow.
And
I'll
one of
take
the
that.
things that we do, we didn't plan on doing this, but it just kind of happened because we travel a lot. And we'll tell you a little bit later on about how our businesses allow us to travel like we do. But one of the things that we started doing that we didn't plan on doing is kind of like what do you call it, a competition? Is it a competition?
That's a fair term, a friendly competition.
But it's friendly. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. So every time we have birthdays that come up, we usually take each other on a trip or we buy each other gifts. Lately, we've been doing vacations because those memories just hold so much more value than tangible items that you can buy somebody. But what happened was we started doing these vacations, and we kind of one-up each other every time we do a vacation.
And right now, I'm down right now. I'm definitely down right now. Because the last birthday trip was phenomenal. I still smile about it, thinking about it now, and it was almost a year ago.
Yeah, we're going to tell you about that one day.
Somebody got a birthday coming up in 24 days? No,
20. Yeah, you're right, 24 days.
24 days.
Yeah,
so
today's the 3rd.
I think I'm going to one-up this year. I think I got it.
Okay. Anyway, so last year for my birthday, it was crazy. First of all, for Mother's Day, we'll talk about that later on, I thought I was going to breakfast and ended up in Miami. Then after that, we already had a trip planned with a 40-person cruise for my birthday last year, but Davis decided that he wanted to do something before the cruise with everybody else. And so he told me he was going to take me to Colombia. Not Colombia, South Carolina. Colombia, South America. Okay?
Cartagena,
so
Colombia.
I was excited. You know, all I knew about Cartagena was what we watched on TV.
The drugs. The drug dealers and Pablo Escobar.
What's that girl's name we just watched? That everybody watched?
I don't know.
The drug dealer.
Griselda Blanco.
Yeah, so all I knew was Griselda Blanco and the drug game. I didn't know anything else about Colombia. But I was excited to go to Cartagena. So he told me that he was going to take me there, but he didn't tell me about all the surprises he had in store for me. And so we're going to tell you a little bit about that. And I guess we can just start out talking about traveling to Cartagena and what that's like. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Just Cartagena itself, or are we talking about the little place in Cartagena
not
that we went to?
Not the surprise yet. Let's just tell, because some people may not have been to Colombia before. I know they got passport bros that just go just for one reason.
We saw a couple of them out there too.
Yeah,
matter of fact,
Google passport bros if you don't know what that means. That might not be appropriate to talk about on the radio. But we know we have people, the passport bros that go. We know we have people that know about the drug game and all that stuff. But a lot of people don't know a lot about Colombia.
It has a lot of culture, a deep-rooted culture, not just for the slave trade and things of that nature, but they have a really rich culture. But starting off, so we've been to a lot of international airports, and I don't think any of them are the same. I think they all have their own different feel and vibe and process. Mm-hmm. And I think Colombia was, we got searched. Yes, we got searched when we arrived. Like bags open, everything taken out. That was
the first time.
Yeah, that was the first time we'd ever gotten searched. It was you know, you watch the shows to catch a smuggler and I mean, because you never know what could happen. So I was a little nervous when they singled us out with the dogs and pulled us aside.
They pulled us out of the crowd. Yeah. Come over here, open your bag.
Yeah, and they opened everything. They took everything out of the bag. Well, I mean, I didn't have nothing that I knew about.
I have been known to accidentally leave ammunition in my bag.
That's happened 2 or 3 times.
Going through TSA. We just so happened to have been in Charlotte when it happened.
Yeah, that probably would have been bad if it happened over there.
Lenient. Yeah, even if it would have happened in like New York. But we just happened to be here, so it wasn't so bad. So yeah, when he called us, I was like, oh shoot, what did I leave in my bag?
I was probably more nervous about anything you had left in your bag as well, because I know how, I don't want to say forgetful, but we'll call it what it is, forgetful she can be when it comes to things like that. Yeah. But no, luckily we didn't have any contraband in our bag, so we made it through customs okay. And then the first thing I noticed was the heat.
Oh my goodness!
It was a different kind of hot.
When I say hot, our daughter goes to college in New Orleans, and up until that point, New Orleans had probably been the most humid heat that I had experienced. Colombia was hot. Like, I don't sweat.
No, you was sweating.
I can work out for an hour and barely sweat. I was drenched. It was so humid out there.
And you typically like hot climates. Like, we've been to DR and Mexico and Belize. You like it there, but I think Colombia was the first time you actually were like, it's hot.
Yeah, it was hot out there. I'm trying to think of we're going to tell you about the surprise, but I'm trying to think of what experiences I remember just in Colombia.
The food was good.
The food was really good.
Mm-hmm. And cheap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really cheap. So Colombia was extremely inexpensive. Like, before we left, a day before we left, we was trying to find.
We had to give the money away because we had too much currency that we had exchanged for the local currency that we didn't want to bring back with us. So we were just giving money away to people.
It was really, really cheap.
Yeah, it was cheap.
But one of the things that I remember from Colombia was what's it called, Walled City?
Yeah, we spent a lot of time in the Walled City, which is like a big tourist attraction, and we keep saying Colombia. Colombia is a whole country, but we were in Cartagena, Colombia, which is a coastal, I guess, city. I guess it's a city. And the Walled City is like a big tourist attraction and there was a lot of activity. Like, it was back-to-back traffic, people walking around night and day. Like, it was a lot to get in and out of the Walled City because that's where everything was. All the restaurants, clubs, massage parlors for the passport bros. But yeah, it was a good experience though. It was a lot.
That I remember is this, and a lot of people were really nice, so I wasn't expecting people to be so nice, but a lot of people were really nice. But one of the days we went to Walled City, this older gentleman with a cane.
We're gonna call him Poppy.
Yes, Poppy could barely walk. And he helped us park our car, and I think he was just a good citizen. He wasn't police or security or anything. I think he was just a local from there. He helped us park our car, and he asked us what we were looking for. We asked him, anywhere where we can eat? What's some good food around here?
And instead of just pointing us in the right direction, he actually walked us a few blocks all the way to a restaurant that he had suggested.
With his cane.
Yeah, he had a lip and a cane.
Being the best restaurant
that was the best one we had been to the whole time we were there. Yeah, it was good. And it was fresh food too. Oh my goodness.
So that's one thing I remember about Colombia.
Mosquitoes.
About
mosquitoes.
Cartagena. Yes, the mosquitoes were big. What about a lot of people always want to know about what's the people that try to sell you stuff all the time?
The vendors?
The street. You know how when you go place in the tourists because the locals.
Oh, you talking about the rappers? You talking about the rappers?
So the rappers, but just period, like how much are people always trying to sell you stuff on the streets?
In the walled city, it's excessive.
Yeah.
I think that might have been one of the most highly solicited places that we had gone to, because every time you turned around, somebody was either trying to sell you something, sing a song for some money, rap for some money. Like it was a lot. It was a whole lot.
It
was kind of overwhelming.
Right. If you're an easily aggravated person, or if it's easy to make you mad or frustrated, then you'll probably get frustrated because
you don't want to be rude.
Right.
You don't want to be rude, but eventually you got to just walk off or tell them no, because it's constant. And I know the first couple times we actually bought stuff.
Yeah.
But eventually, like, okay, I got enough trinkets, I got enough stuff to bring back home, and I don't need to buy anything else, so I'm good, thank you. But
it's constant.
Yeah, it's constant.
Like when I say every 2 steps you go, somebody is trying to sell you something. Because most of the time, tourism is their biggest form of making money.
And they don't have a lot of money in that country.
So everybody, and after a few blocks, everybody's selling the same thing. So,
we saw the same vendors, the same people. They have these rappers who walk around with a Bluetooth speaker, and they freestyle in the. I guess it's Colombian is what they speak. Is that a language? Am I wrong
Spanish.
about that? Spanish. So they freestyle in Spanish. Obviously, we don't know what it is they're saying, but it rhymed for the most part. But they will freestyle. They'll spot out something.
Some of them did it in English.
They did. Like they'd say something that you were wearing, or a color, or start rapping based on your appearance, and they would just freestyle.
They were good.
They were actually good.
They were really good.
But
like they could freestyle for 10 minutes without stopping.
You hear them coming.
Yes, they're really good. They're better than the ones that, what do they call it here when they battle? They do the rap battle.
You gonna offend some people? You better stop that.
No, they're better than a lot of the people here because they can. I mean, all of them can freestyle, and they were really, really good. I like the temperature, but I'm listening. From the rappers.
I like, man. Hey, I like to like Mostak, welcome to my ciudad. Hey, no problem, man, listen to me, rap. Hey, you are...
That opinion belongs to Queen Artrina and Queen Artrina alone.
When you look at our YouTube channel, we're going to actually show you some excerpts from there. And I have video of them freestyling, and it's really awesome. So we're going to show it to you. So make sure you go to the Royal Clan on YouTube and look at our channel, because when we post this, we're going to make sure that we put in some excerpts from when they freestyle. But it was really, really good.
It was.
So as we walked around Cartagena, what did we do? A day? We didn't go the first day, did we?
No, we went the third day.
Okay. So we were there for a little while, but as we were walking around,
it was a short.
City,
was it a Mother's Day?
No, it was before my. It was a birthday.
It was like a
pre-birthday
celebration. So it was like a short 4-day trip.
Before we went on a cruise.
Right.
We went on a birthday cruise with 40 of our friends and family, but that was before. He wanted to give us some us time before that, and he wanted to surprise me.
I be doing good, y'all.
So,
I be doing good.
He be doing good. So before, when we were in Wall City and we were walking around, I kept seeing these ladies that had
what are they called?
They
like the Chiquita banana people.
Right. I can't remember. We're gonna also post video of these ladies so you can see what I'm talking about. But when we were walking around, and if you've been to Cartagena, you probably know what I'm talking about. When we were walking around, we saw these ladies. They were black, of course, and they had on these long dresses that were very colorful. They had yellow and red and blue and all sorts of colors, and they had the buckets on top of their head, kind of like when you go to Africa and you see the women walking around with fruit on top of their head. They were walking around with the buckets on top of their head, and they were trying to get everybody to take pictures with them. I had no idea who they were, other than they were just beautiful black women with garb on that wanted you to take pictures with them.
Palenqueras are what they're called.
Palenqueras. That's what they're called. Palenqueras of Cartagena. That's what they're called. So you'll see them everywhere. So, again, I just thought that they were ladies that wanted you to take pictures, and they were just a tourist attraction.
But if you notice, so Cartagena itself, the majority of the residents were fairer skin.
Right.
Were
Yeah.
lighter. They looked more like what you would consider a Spanish person versus an African
black
person.
Right.
But if you'll notice, all the Palenqueras were black.
They were dark.
Right.
Yeah.
Like.
Yes. So it was interesting. I didn't know a lot about them, but I noticed that they wanted us to take pictures. So on this particular day, as they were soliciting us to take pictures, David said we were going on an excursion. And so we went to a meeting place in Walled City to meet up with the bus that was taking us on the excursion. Just so happened, I'll throw this in there, we happened to see somebody else from the United States who had the exact same birthday as me.
Yep, certainly did.
Yes, we were going on the excursion and she was there. She was by herself and I asked her, what she was there for. She said her birthday, and her birthday was May 27th, and she was from Georgia. Georgia?
I thought it was Tennessee.
I don't remember. We'll figure it out before the YouTube channel, before our YouTube post. But anyway, she had the same birthday as me, and we were going on the same excursion. We got on a bus, and we got to this place, and when we got there, I saw the sign, and the place was called Palenque. It's Palenque. They actually spelled it a few different ways.
Yeah, it was a couple different spellings.
Yeah.
None of which are wrong, just different. Right.
Yeah. So Palenque, it was Palenque, and when we got there, all I saw was black people. And like Davis just said, most of the people in Cartagena were fair skinned, and so I had no idea what was going on. But it looked like we were going into a village, something that you would see on TV, maybe in Africa or somewhere. And everybody was beautiful, and it was a village. And I'm gonna let Davis tell you what Palenque is, and then I'm gonna tell you some of the experiences we had. It was amazing.
Okay. So Palenque is actually a really unique, special place. It happens to be the very first free slave town in the entire Americas. And what makes it really special is the fact that Palenque had what was considered freed slaves in their own free town about 100 years before Haiti fought for their freedom, and almost a full 200 years before the Emancipation Proclamation.
Right.
So it's a really unique place. What makes it even more unique is the fact that they managed to keep their language, their customs, and their traditions from Africa.
How did they get their freedom, though?
So, funny story. Well, I mean, it might not be funny, but it's a story of resilience, in my opinion. So, like a lot of other countries in South America, there were a very large number of slaves who were being brought into Cartagena. One of the slaves, his last name is actually Palenque. It's San Basilio Palenque. He escaped from slavery and was able to make it to the hills and valleys of where Palenque is now. Him and several other slaves actually escaped, got away. So they had what were called slave catchers. They were kind of like bounty hunters. They would send them out to recapture these slaves and bring them back to their quote unquote owners. Few times they sent out these bounty hunters up into the hills to bring back these 4 or 5 slaves who had gotten away, and they never came back.
The slave catchers
never came back. So whether they got lost or fell to some other ill fate is kind of one for the history books. But the fact is, the government got tired of sending bounty hunters up into these mountains to bring back these slaves, because they were unsuccessful. So what they finally did, they said, you know what?
Leave them alone.
Leave them alone. Let them have it. They as long as they stay there and don't come back into our city, they can have it. Word traveled fast. That's actually, they would send signals to other slaves who were still in bondage through the braiding of the hair, the beating of the drums. So naturally, more slaves found out about this, and they escaped, and they would go to this village because they knew that once they got there, they were pretty much free. So after years and years of this, they finally We're able to get a really decent amount of people there, and it's now a historical place that remains as it was way back in the day.
So they live in Palenque, in Colombia,
inside Colombia,
but they have their own.
They have their
African
own language.
Their own language.
They don't speak Spanish.
So they brought everything from Africa with them and kept it the same in Colombia.
Truly, it's probably, in my opinion, the closest you can get to being in Africa without actually going to Africa.
If you have a desire to go to Africa and you think maybe you don't have the money yet or you don't have the time to take a 20-hour flight, go to Palenque. It's a 3-hour flight to Colombia?
About 4 hours, almost 4 hours.
So 3 to 4 hour flight from here. You're talking about maybe on a good day, $500 to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes cheaper when the flight prices are better. So you're talking about spending a couple $1,000s to go on vacation. And remember, Colombia is very inexpensive.
Yep.
So other than the flight, once you get there, you're not going to spend a lot of money. So you're talking about doing that versus going to Africa first. Not saying you shouldn't go to Africa, because we're going to tell you about Africa trips too. But if you haven't gone yet and you want to experience the culture, it was phenomenal. I felt like I was in Africa.
That's how I felt.
I felt like I was in Africa.
I felt like this is what it's going to feel like once we go to Africa.
It was amazing. And the guide told us all about the story that Davis just told you, and a little more in depth about Palenque.
A lot more in depth. I don't want to shortchange him.
Yeah, when we do the YouTube, I'll post his story on YouTube, the guide, because he told us all about Palenque.
This conversation is going to be about us. We're going to see why or how our ancestors get here to America, and we're going to see what is the Palenque culture. So while we stay here in Palenque, if you don't understand something, please let me know. Right? First, what is the definition to you, or what is the slavery definition you have?
But when we got there, all the way down to no running water.
Nope.
So I went to the bathroom.
Oh yeah, you did use the bathroom.
And yeah, so the guide actually took us to his
house.
His house.
Yep.
And we went to the bathroom, and the way you flush the toilet was, you know how when your toilet break at home, you got to pour water down in the toilet because either the water done got turned off. Remember back in the day when you had no money, they turned the water off.
They don't hear you out there. They don't hear you.
Y'all don't hear me. Y'all been rich y'all whole life. But back in the day when you ain't had no water and they turned the water off, you had to pour the bucket of water down in order to flush the toilet. Well, this is how they live daily because they don't have running water. So I experienced that, but it was amazing. Like, I don't know, it was just amazing because everybody was so. Oh, and tell them about that food. Oh my goodness.
Listen, I'm a fairly picky eater, as is she. This was the best. Was it snapper?
It was snapper.
This was the best red snapper I've had in my life, and she cooked it on. It wasn't a stove.
No,
was it?
it was some wood across two wood, two across and two up and down, and then the charcoal or the. What was it? Wood underneath it, and they lit that, and they put the pan or the pot on top of that.
That was delicious.
And put the fish in there, and cooked it. And then when they served it to us,
no utensils. They do not eat with forks and spoons in Africa. You eat with your hands.
They had
the big
homemade,
wooden spoon thing.
Right. So when they served it to us on a leaf.
Leaf.
A real big leaf.
I think was that a banana leaf?
I think it was a banana leaf. And we had the wooden, but that was the best food.
Yeah, that was delicious.
that I had eaten. Matter of fact, the whole time we was in Colombia, that was the best food that we ate. But yeah, it was amazing. So they cooked for us. We walked around, and then we experienced some of the African dance traditions.
Oh my goodness, them kids were phenomenal.
Yes, make sure y'all go to our YouTube page. So after we do this show, we're gonna post this on YouTube because I want you to see the dancing. So it's
talking about. dance.
It looks like something you see on National Geographic.
Yeah.
Or something on TV, and the dance moves. And I just want to say,
it's crazy the similarities, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But I just want to say with the dancing, and even when we went to Africa, which we'll talk about later, but in Palenque, when they were dancing, I just said, we got twerking in the United States, and us women, us thick women that know how to dance, we known for that kind of stuff and popping and twerking. Just in case you didn't know, that's cultural.
Mm-hmm.
So in the United States or in Western civilization, we sexualize that stuff. And, because of the way we think here, we make it bad. Or, when kids do it, it's like, oh, my gosh, she's so fast. Why is she doing that already? But it's because that's what it is in Western civilization. Everything is sexualized. But that's our culture. The reason why babies come out the womb with rhythm and knowing how to pop and shake is because that's what their ancestors did.
Mm-hmm.
So that's innate. Nobody has to teach that. Now, what the meaning behind it, if we're teaching that the wrong way, that's what makes it bad when we're doing it growing up as kids or whatever. But when you go to Africa or when you go to African cultures, that's their culture. Like, that's what they do all day, every day. They're having fun. And it's the way of the ancestors. It's not always about something negative or something bad. And as soon as these kids started dancing, they weren't twerking. They was doing a traditional African dance, but they were twerking.
It looked similar. It looked very, very similar. And mind you, a lot of them didn't have running water.
Nope.
There's no cable or
None of that.
TVs out there. So a lot of the stuff they're doing, they learned from their ancestors
Right.
who've never been to America or seen some of the stuff that we do as far as some of the dancing. So all of that stuff came from the motherland.
Yeah, it was amazing. So, and the little boys dance and the girls dance and the older people dance.
You dance.
And we asked, well, somebody asked, I don't know if we asked, but we asked the guide, what is everybody's gift in Palenque as far as music is concerned. And he said, basically, everybody's musically inclined. Either you're singing, you're dancing, or you're playing an instrument. Mm-hmm. Everybody. So, because somebody asked, because everybody was doing something. Everybody was singing, dancing, or something. And they said, so what do you do in Palenque if you don't sing or dance or play an instrument? He said, there's no such thing. Everybody sings, dances, or plays an instrument, which is, again, the way you know that that's tradition, that's culture. That's ancestry, because it's just in us. That's just what we do. So that was amazing. I'm sure I forgot something.
You forgot about the doctor.
Oh, yeah.
Forgot about the doctor.
So
not a traditional hospital doctor. We talking about he literally had a hut, and around the hut is where he grew all the herbs and all the different spices that they turn into medicine.
Yes. Everything was a natural
Everything
healing.
was natural. Yep. You
Yes.
basically go there and tell him what's ailing you, and he has an elixir or an ointment or something that he made right there in-house that's going to help you with your problem. And I'm not talking about just simple stuff like a rash or some sort of skin irritation.
Diabetes,
cancer,
high blood pressure.
Yes.
All the stuff that kill us over here. They have natural remedies to heal it. Asthma, whatever. They have a natural remedy to heal it, and you go see the doctor, and he gives you whatever you need to heal it.
Right.
He made us some bracelets.
Yep.
And the bracelets were supposed to
I got mine on now.
Offer us wealth. And he asked us what we wanted. He asked us what we wanted in our bracelets. Mm-hmm. And then basically he prayed over and blessed the bracelets and made them for us. And and did he give them to us? How much we paid for them? We paid for them?
Of course we paid for it. I think it was more of a donation.
Yeah, it was a donation. So
it was a donation. I felt good about it.
Yes, and let me tell y'all this, because he ain't going to tell y'all this.
What?
So Davis don't drink, right?
Oh, man.
So Davis has not drank but once in his life.
When I was 14, I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, he drunk some wine.
And so, but the thing about it, I know lots of people drink or get drunk, and they have that horrible hangover the next day. Mm-hmm. and they sitting in front of the toilet on their knees, throwing up.
Oh my God, I'm never gonna
oh
do
my
this
God,
again.
please just let me make it, and I swear I'll never drink again. I said that, but I meant it. I absolutely meant it. So when I was 14 and got drunk and had a hangover,
He got drunk off wine, y'all.
I think it might have been champagne.
That's even worse.
It was in a bottle. That's all I know. It was in a
even
bottle,
worse.
and I ended up on the roof. It was a
You was
crazy
on the
day.
roof.
Yeah, I
You
was
didn't
on the
tell
roof.
me that
Yeah,
part.
I'm gonna save that for another story. But
Okay.
I meant it when I said I would never drink again, and I had not. But when we went to Palenque,
So hold on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Hold
Go
on.
ahead.
Because I try, like when we do special stuff, it could be New Year's, it could be anniversaries.
I'm not
I'm just
doing
like,
it.
babe, just take a, just take a sip of the champagne, toast. He don't do any, like since I've been with him for 8 years, he's never even tasted, sipped. And according to his friends, even when they was up in Omaha, he still, whatever he was doing, it didn't include drinking and smoking. So he's never experienced that stuff. And so we went to Palenque.
Yep.
And what happened?
So we get to Palenque, and
I'm going to show y'all this on video too.
it's a pretty long ride from Cartagena into Palenque because you're up in the hills, up in the mountains. So we're getting all kind of stories about how it happened and how it began and the history of it. And then once we actually get there, it kind of hits you like, okay, we're seeing all of the stuff that we've just been taught about or told about on the ride here. So we got a much more in-depth story about Palenque's history while we were sitting. It's called like the square. They have a statue of the founder of Palenque, which was the first slave who actually was able to escape and start the actual village. But as he told the story, he said that we had to take a drink of something that they were making for our ancestors. So look, I meant what I said when I said I wasn't going to drink, but when the man said it was for our ancestors, I couldn't say
That's
no.
what got him.
I couldn't say no.
He had this little wooden cup.
It was big. It was a lot in there, and
It wasn't a lot.
It burnt my
Y'all,
throat
it
and
wasn't
my
even a
chest.
shot,
Whatever.
y'all.
What? Do you know what it was?
Y'all, it wasn't a shot.
What was it?
It was tequila.
You don't even know what it was. It was tequila?
Uh-huh.
It didn't look like tequila.
It was tequila.
I don't like tequila.
Yeah, it was tequila. So it was a shot. Well, you know what? It might have been rum. It was either rum or tequila.
It was some sticks and branches and stuff inside the bottle. It was
Yes.
some other stuff in the bottle.
It was either rum or tequila. I'll fact check and make sure that when we post this video on YouTube that I'll let you know because I'm gonna show it to you. But it was in a little
it was in a
wooden
wooden
container,
cup, and he said a
and
prayer.
It wasn't
the prayer
a lot.
got me because I said,
Suto,
Suto,
Majen de Prieto,
Majen de Vieto,
Senda,
Senda,
Ngande,
Ngande,
Andi,
Andi,
To,
To,
Paraje.
Paraje.
With the black people are bigger everywhere. Yes or no?
Yes.
Don't care the skin color. All we came from Africa. Right? We drink
okay, I got
in one
to
shot.
drink it now because we didn't say the prayer.
So Davis drunk some alcohol for the first time ever for the ancestors after the prayer.
But there's more.
Okay.
So when we went to see the doctor, he had a prayer too.
He drunk 2 shots.
He had a prayer too, and he had something similar. It was in a bottle.
Thing. It was the same thing.
Well, I'm feeling like maybe the extra stuff he put in the bottle
that made it medicine.
made it okay for me to drink. It's not like I was just taking shots.
So I think he was drunk in Palenque.
I probably was,
and we didn't know it
because I was extra hot.
because he. That's what happened. That's what had happened.
Didn't you drink it too?
Yeah, but I mean, I've tasted alcohol before. You haven't.
You tasted that kind of alcohol before?
I don't drink straight alcohol, so it was still strong.
See?
But yeah, it was strong.
Because you were sweating too.
Oh, I was sweating the whole time because it was hot. It was hot. But yeah, we cannot tell you this experience on the radio and make you really understand what it was like.
Right.
You have to go to Palenque. You're going to experience a little bit more from watching the video when we post a video on YouTube. But I tell you what, if you're trying to figure out where to go visit next, and you can't quite get to Africa, but you want to see what that's like, go to Colombia. Go
I
to
agree.
Cartagena, Colombia,
That's what we did.
and do a Palenque excursion, or get you a driver and just tell them to take you to Palenque, because
Right,
you
you
can
don't have
actually
to-
stay there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they told us we could get a room and we could spend a night in Palenque. So, yeah, you could actually stay there if you wanted to, which we'll do that when we go back.
Definitely want to take the kids back next time.
So make sure that you put that on your list of places to go or to travel when you're looking for travel experiences. And we just want to leave you with this before we jump off of this show today. We want to always leave you some type of wealth building or business tip, because we are grateful and blessed to be able to travel when we want to travel. Pretty much do what we want to do. You know, we're still striving for higher heights, but we've set ourselves up to do most of what we want to do in life,
Pretty much.
and have fun and experience, you know, the greater parts of life, and allow our children to do the same thing. And so my business tip today from Be Intentional LLC, my coaching business, is make sure that if you have a business, you have your business structured appropriately or properly, so that you can take advantage of all the laws of the good United States that they make for business owners. And one of the things that I want to tell you is, this past year, I made upwards to $250,000, and I was able to file my taxes and get back almost 5 figures in a tax refund. And guess how many taxes I paid this year? How many I paid, babe?
0.
I paid no taxes. I
None.
have not paid taxes in 15 years, legally.
Mm-hmm. You got to make sure you add that
Legally.
disclaimer, legally.
So
Because somebody
remember-
can say, I ain't paying no taxes either.
Right. I did it legally. So you remember when Donald Trump told Hillary Clinton that if she want him to start paying taxes, they need to change the laws?
Yep.
That was absolutely true. And he told her, the reason why y'all not going to change the laws is because you're benefiting from the same thing I'm benefiting from.
Exactly.
So guess who else can benefit from it?
You.
You can. The reason why we don't benefit from it, and when I speak, I'm speaking mostly about melanated people, is because our businesses aren't structured. Our businesses, we're hustling. So we got to stop the hustle. And, you know, we're really good at hustling because we're very resilient people, and we figured out how to survive in spite of. But we got to stop hustling, because if you stop hustling, you'll be able to get to use all these rules and these laws that everybody else uses,
Yep.
and make it benefit you. So the reason why I was able to make the amount of money that I did, and this year we're going to take it to the next level, because our goal is $1 million this year. So the reason why we were able to make what we made and then still get a refund and not pay any taxes is because we take advantage of something called tax deductions. And the reason why we're able to use tax deductions is because we know how to structure and fund our businesses in a way where we don't have to pay taxes. So everything I bought last year, my car, which was a 6-figure purchase, our trip, so the trip that we're going to tell you about later when we went to Africa, which was a $15,000 plus trip, 4 or 5 other trips we took last year. I can show you how to make sure that those trips are tax write-offs, and you can make all the money you want to make and legally not pay taxes. So that's my business tip for you today. We're going to make sure that we have a business tip for you on every show. But if you want to find out more about how I help people structure, build, and fund their businesses, make sure you visit my website at beintentionalwithaltrina.com, or just visit me on any social media platform. Instagram is Queen_Altrina, and Facebook is either my name, Altrina Tillman, or Be Intentional with Altrina. And on TikTok, I'm also Queen_Altrina.
We don't know for how much longer TikTok's going to be around, but
So when TikTok leaves, just go on over to Instagram, Facebook, and go to my website. But there you'll get many more tips and tricks on how to make sure that you're able to do the same thing that we do and build your life so that you can do what you want to do with your family. That's it for this radio show. You got anything else to add, babe?
No, you covered all bases. You covered all bases.
All right.
She's obviously the talker out of the family, so sometimes I just got to sit back and listen.
On the next radio show, you're going to get your tip from Mr. Armstrong.
Because I have several.
And that was it for today. So make sure you visit our YouTube channel at The Royal Clan. And that's it.
That's it. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you
Deuces.
next time.